Hey, what's up, guys? It's Forest Man here again. It's funny, right as I hit the start button, my helicopter flew in, so let's go ahead and see what I get here on this helipad drop. Alright, for this video, I'm going to show you guys how I do survival. Now, you're probably going to recognize this base because it's been a very popular base for a long time in survival mode. I'm outdated because I know that the top guys in survival mode use different bases. I don't have one of those. I've seen them. I just haven't gotten the chance to make one, but I can show you guys my base and how I do it. I can tell you that last month I made it to level 52 using this base in survival mode. And I think the real key in survival mode is just knowing what skills to use and how to use them properly. You can use any of the well, there's really a couple of skills that are really key. But you can use those skills with almost any version of your base, survival board base that you have, and be pretty successful with it. So I'll go ahead and start. I think I'm somewhere around 42, 43 in survival mode right now. And I'll just do a couple of run-throughs real quick just so you guys can see how I do it. Oh, there we go. Alright, the key to survival mode is false flare for one. That's probably the most important thing to have. I also use the Guardian and EMP artillery. Those are also good. I'm sure there's other good units or good skills to use. The building repair one's a good one. The only problem with the building repair for me is it's hard for me to zoom in and find and repair the building that I need in time, because I'm so focused on other units that are flying around and all over the place. So that, for me, that just wasn't, I was not able to use that skill effectively in survival mode, especially once I got to some of the higher levels. So I know this is probably gonna end up being a semi-long video, but I'm just gonna take you guys through the first level, the first checkpoint, and I'll stop it there, just so you guys can see, how I do it. For starting off with the first couple of waves that come in, I try to avoid using as many skills as I can. Right now my biggest focus is just finding all those little cans and collecting as many of those things as I can. And unfortunately, a lot of times I don't see them. Sometimes they blend in pretty well if they make it to the ground before I catch them. And in the dull moment right now, I'll tell you guys, if anybody's wondering, the music I always have playing is my Pandora station. It's kind of a combination of dubstep and Lindsey Sterling, just because it's not really too distracting. Okay, false flare, here we go. So with the false flares, mainly I use them when there's a bunch of the warbirds coming in, because they can take out my bunkers, which are my key unit there, defensive unit. And what I usually do is throw them up in the very, very, very top. And once they're all the way up there, you can use a Guardian or an EMP artillery to kind of slow down and mess up the units that are up there and get them kind of weakened up. You really want to try to use a balance of skills, because obviously the skill point and the cost of them go up considerably every time that you use them. So it's good to try to switch it up as much as you can, because for a while I pretty much just use the false flare, and you can get through a lot of top bases by just using the false flare effectively. But again, it starts adding up so fast. Dragonfires are also really good for survival mode. Because there's a lot of units that, ground units that aren't affected by the Dragonfires, and they also move really quickly, and they're good at taking out the Warbirds, because the Warbirds are the real big killers of survival mode. That's what'll take your base out the fastest. So essentially I'm trying to pull them, especially like the ASAMs on the bottom of the screen. Every time I use one of those false flares, it draws them towards the top of my base, which is where all my weapons are. So it's a really good way to essentially draw them to the fire, attract like a moth to the flame type thing. Bring them to where you can kill them at. Let's bring all these guys up here. Looks like we're probably about done with this wave. And I know this is taking a long time, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, that's so much work. This base, without using any skills at all, has gotten me to level 42 consistently. So typically what I'll do and what I've been doing is just for the first week or so, I don't even use the skills. I mean, obviously you can get ahead really fast. It's just so time consuming, and I hate doing it. So usually, again, until I get to about level 42, I don't use any skills at all. I put it on, times 4 speed and let it roll. So once I get to level 42, level 43 in this area, I'll start using skills, and that's how I do it. And I just go one level at a time, one checkpoint at a time. Every time I start a survival mode, I'll sit down and I'll use the skills. I'll get past one level, and then I'll stop, and I'll just go on times 4, unless, again, I have a lot of free time, but I'm probably just going to leave it as it is, honestly. I don't really care. I'll get the next checkpoint the next time, and the next one, and I'll keep going, again, until I get to about level 52. And I think at level 52, that's where having a base design other than the one that I have will keep you going a little bit better. I'm sure the best way to find those bases, the very start of the month, just go pick out one of the guys that's on the leaderboard and look at his base. I'm sure you'll be able to catch them pretty quick if you check it right after the leaderboard's reset. So anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I hope this helped you out and get you a little bit further in survival mode. The loot is huge. I mean, getting far in this, I really cannot tell you how important it is to really take your time and actually apply yourself on this, because you can make easily, once you get to the level 50, it's $2.5–3 million or $3 million loot, gold or oil, every single day just from doing survival mode. So it's really awesome. So it's worth the time and the effort, at least for the first couple weeks, until you get as far as you can get, and then just kind of reap the benefits for the rest of the month. So it's worth your time. Give it a shot. Try out the suggestions I gave you. That'll be it for this video, guys. I'll do another Alliance War video next. I'll see you on the next one.